Welcome, everyone, to episode 320 of NoCoders Office Hours. We're going to get started in just a moment. But if this is your first time tuning in, we do office hours 6 times per week: Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and Mondays we have a second session at 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. If you would like to join us and ask your no-code questions, please go to pronocoders.com and sign up for a membership today. All right, we're gonna get started. Adam, you were here first.
I wanted to ask your advice on using list shifter. So Cameron said that you were like a pro at list shifter, and I'm
Okay. That is not true. Cameron just meant that I had played around with him more than he had. But I
okay.
think John might be closing in on expert level at list shifter.
Gradually.
Okay. So basically the goal for me is I have a bunch of user records that I'm trying to be able to reorder, and I want to reorder them in a way that is like you don't swap positions for something. You essentially, you put number 4 in between number 1 and 2, and then everything moves down 1 after the place that you put it. So I keep having issues trying to find the right plugins to help me do that, and I'm just wondering if if list shifter might be my answer.
So what's the input to make the change? Is it something that is like is it drag and drop, or what's
Drag and
happening that you? Okay.
Is this the thing that Cameron was playing with the other day? He was asking me about. Did Cameron build you a mock-up?
He has not built me a mock-up.
Oh, because he was trying to do something which sounds identical. So he had like 4, let's call them boxes, cells in a repeating group, and they were numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. And he wanted to be able to drag 4 to be position 1, and it would change to be number 1, and then do 2, 3, 4, etc. Which sounds like what you're trying to do.
Yeah. So the think list shifter. When I was reading that big long thread in the forum, at the point that I read it, like I don't think I read the whole thread. I read a lot of it, but I don't think I read the whole thing because it's like 400 messages long. But he said that he had never tried to do drag and drop with list shifter, but he assumed that you could do it, like you could use it that way. I know you can use just regular bubble to do it, and it requires a little bit of math, and I've done it using and the reason you might want to do it that way is because if you're talking about actually reordering the list in a permanent way and not just on the screen right then, because I don't think list shifter is necessarily, if it's when it's swapping things, it's not making any changes to the database, right? The swap is just happening on the front end. Are you wanting Bubble to retain the information for that order to be reproduced in the future?
Yes.
Okay, so then that means you would have to change something in the database in order for the order to remain between sessions, essentially. And the problem with doing that with bubbles, you don't want to have to make changes to every single item in a list every time you change the order, because that would be pretty hefty capacity-wise. So what I've seen done before, and I can show you, I'm trying to remember if I have any examples, working examples of it. But there is a template for using that Draggable Elements plugin, and then you can see their math, and it's using a math equation on the order field, which is of type number, to essentially just, it's not integers, the orders become decimals, right?
Yeah.
Because you essentially are dividing things to put things between, but you're only making change to that one record, if that makes sense.
I would love to see the math on that.
Okay, So I'm just gonna do it's gonna require some scrolling. Pardon my scroll. I could tell you the template pretty quickly, but let's just do it. We'll do a new app. So reorder RG draggable. It's the top shelf elements is the template. And so this is their drag and drop list page on their template. And if you go into the workflows, not a lot of workflows, so that's good.
Mhm.
Navigation. Yeah, this is not, this is irrelevant to us. We're not really concerned about that. So we'll just delete that. So we're only concerned with what happens when they drag one of the items in the list up and one below. So if you are using that, the Draggable Elements plugin is what they're using to achieve this.
I've actually
And that-
been messing around with this one. I just can't get the math right.
Yep. So then the workflow, so you are going to make changes to the widget, which is the thing in the database. And the order number is going to be the group holder widget above's number plus the current cell widget's order number divided by 2. And the numbers that they're talking about have to do with the groups here. So we'll go find it. Actually, probably can.
Can we preview it just to see how it works?
Yeah. So the trick that I found in here is that all of your data has to have an order number to start.
Yes, I have said it.
So in here, I don't have any widgets though. That's weird. Let's see here. It didn't give me any widgets. It used to give me widgets. I guess they must not have copied over. Sometimes, this is an important thing to know. Sometimes when you use a template, it doesn't copy the database over properly. At AirDev, we actually have a like a check in place for our designers to go and make sure that the database copied over. And if it didn't, they just start over from scratch. So, but we'll just do, I can just make these real quick. I don't think it'll be a problem. I'm not worried about the app page. Widget one. And this is the important one. This is the thing that you actually have to have in order for this to work. So every single item has to have an order number to start. And then the name here, we'll call it widget one. And new entry, try with the name again, widget. And one more. Hey, Callum.
Alright. What we doing?
Draggable repeating group. There we go. So we have widget 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to drag this one up above. And
Exactly what I need.
This one up above. Yeah, you have to land them in there. So, yep. So you can study the math. You just use the top shelf elements plugin or template to start with, and you can kind of recreate it in your own app.
Cool. Could you potentially just send me that link in the chat? The one that you're on right now?
I do want to point out that your order numbers, I said it before, but this is what I mean about the order numbers getting changed into decimals. So
Is there a way to do that like later to basically make it so that the decimals, like when you have the new order, can you update them to whole numbers? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Because I know that like if somebody does that again and again and again, the order number just becomes longer and it just will end up being like, 25 decimals.
gotcha. You can, but that's kind of the point. So, I mean, you'd have to have a finish point at which point you would do that. You wouldn't want to run that workflow to update all of the items very often.
Right. I would probably do that like maybe like, once a week or something like that, like go back in, just recursive.
Yep. So you would just order the list and you would by the order. How would we do that? Let me see. Let me go in here and then go. Reorder. And we would go make changes to thing, and the thing would be a widget. I think we'd have to put a new field on it called last reordered of type date. And you would change the order number. First item. Be Yeah, to have to think through it. It would need to be a recursive workflow, and you'd have to go through each one and find the right order number to put on it.
Okay, so for the meantime, I'll just set up what we have here and then we will get back to that. Thank you.
Yep. Awesome. So you can find that in bubble.io templates. This one. So let's see here. I'm pasting that in the chat for you.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. John.
Hello. I don't really need to, well, I will share my screen. I'll show you, first off, I'll show you something that I think is quite cool that I found today. So if I can get it to work. So if I click this Chrome extension, he says, when it loads, here you go. So it shows you all your, well, the page of your site in loads of different devices all at once.
Oh, nice.
So if you're testing responsive layout and stuff, you can work out where you've gone horribly wrong by device, and you can go in and change what device things you're looking at and all sorts of stuff. It's very good.
Awesome. And what's the name of the extension?
It is called, it'll be up here, won't it? Responsive Viewer.
Responsive Viewer. And is it free
Yeah.
or is
Yeah.
it cost?
Yeah, free.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Awesome. Thank you for that.
that's all right. So on the subject of testing, what, if any, tools are available to me? So what I want to do is, so I'm now doing testing, as in today I've been checking all my maths are right by comparing all the numbers, which has been a joy, downloading shitloads of Excel spreadsheets and then comparing them to what I've got in here. But now I want to do things like looking at when a page loads, what is taking the different, when it loads all the different elements, which elements are loading at what point, how long are they taking to load, how long are workflows taking, etc. Just so I can work out, because I've got a particular slow point in the app, which I think I know where it is, but what tools are available to go and test things to give me the timings and things like that? Or is it just dev tools and the sort of back end logs that Bubble give you?
Yeah, well, really, that's not gonna. I don't think the logs are really gonna help with that. But the dev tools is where I see people going when they're trying to figure out what's taking so long,
Right.
and what's actually happening on the page.
Okay.
So the dev tools, Cameron seems pretty adept with them. So
Okay.
it might be something that Cameron can give you kind of like a tutorial on how to use it to analyze what's happening on the page. I've never seen him tackle that particular question, like how long one particular thing is taking to load, but I have seen another developer use dev tools to get that information and analyze a page and what's happening on it. So
Okay.
I think
Right.
that's probably the best place to turn.
Okay, I'll have a play with it. And I guess it's, I suppose. And then in terms of timings for workflows, is that in the logs? I think it is, isn't it? Does it tell you how long it took to execute each thing in your back end workflows?
I don't know. I've never checked.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'll have to have a look. Right, and that was really it. The rest of it now is I'm just testing. So the joys of testing stuff before I deploy it live, really.
Yeah. I don't. So it would be in the server logs is where you'd want to head, and then you'd want to look at.
I really hate this thing, by the way. Why they can't just.
It is horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure I ran it, I think 10 minutes ago, but let's have a look. So you started running. So let's try that. Zoom in on this workflow. No, it just gives you the start. Does it
Tells you what time it ran, but it doesn't really tell you how long it ran.
No, that's not a lot of use, is it? Right. Okie dokie. All right. I shall play with DevTools and see what that tells me.
Yeah.
And did you have you had a chance to watch that video yet on the magic sort thing?
Not quite, but I'm looking forward to checking it out. And
Yeah, it definitely works. So exactly how it's working is, I don't know, but it definitely works.
No, I will go try to figure out how it's working, because that's an important part for me, is understanding how. But yeah, I need to check that out. And then I have spent the last couple days getting my family ready to go on a trip. They left this morning. So much like you were a few weeks ago, John, I am fending for myself.
We've just had an air fryer delivered this afternoon, which seems to be the trend over here. And we've just had samosas in it. It was very good.
Oh, awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I will, let's see. I don't have an air fryer, but I have a Tovala oven.
A Talala oven?
Tovala. Yeah, it's a meal plan, and they send you your meals, and you just scan a barcode, and it cooks it for you.
I thought you said Chihuahua to start with.
Tovala. No Chihuahuas getting cooked over here, I promise. Awesome. Stanko, you were here next.
Oh, hi, Tanya. Yeah.
Hi.
Yes, I did have a question. I think it just came to me. I think we might be able to solve it actually.
Talking of cooking, chihuahuas.
Medium rare.
Medium rare, yeah.
Should I share my screen? I think this is going to work. I just have an idea. Maybe I can just pass it by you real quick now, but I believe we can do it real fast if it works
Yeah, of
this
course.
way. Let me
We
try.
don't have to do it fast. We still have quite a bit of time.
Okay. This is where we do a sign up of the company, and it checks for the name if the company name already exists in the company.
Okay.
And so I've set up the database and it works fine on the sign up. It checks for that and it does that. However, now when the user wants to change the company name, they themselves, that same condition actually searches for the company, and obviously it gives us this error because it turns because it includes their company as well. So shouldn't I be able to minus the company in this workflow, I believe, and then they should be able to change this, for example, to a lowercase, as long as it's within the rest of the companies. Because right now, it will turn, let me see the workflow, yeah. Search for companies, the lowercase value is lowercase, and that gives us an error. But if we, should we, before the count is done, shouldn't we be able to minus the current user's company? And then perhaps,
I guess I'm not understanding what the issue is, because
right.
when they're entering it, are you saying that users can have more than one company?
No, they cannot. But when they update the company, now they have they can update the same fields, right? But now, when they sign up, it checks for it. But now it's checking also when they update the company, the results from the database come back in the lowercase too, and it's a problem, right? It checks all the companies, in fact, right? The search.
So this is the edit field, and you're allowing them to change the company name, and you don't want their own company, if they change like an uppercase to a lowercase, you don't want to exclude that. Okay.
Yeah, they should be able to change to lowercase to CO, but not anything else that already exists. This already exists, but now it says case sensitive on the other side, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, I think I understand. So let's go back to that condition. And let's say search for companies, count is greater than 0, and let's put an and. And I'm just thinking through the logic here.
Yeah, I've tried that too.
So current user's company name.
Yeah, I tried that.
So I would say name lowercase, not name, but name lowercase.
Name lowercase.
So change the field. Is not this input value lowercase. Oh, it won't let you do the is.
Yeah, it won't let us do this lowercase. I've tried that.
That's okay, because we can put a state on the page. So go to the page itself.
Okay, should I should I try this idea? Let's see if it works. Could we do a search? Okay, let me do this. Will be fast. let's say do a search for companies, the same thing, right? A lowercase is this inputs value lowercase, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then could we minus the company, right? Minus current user's company, the whole thing, and then do the count is greater than 0.
Yeah.
This is what I had in mind. I don't know if it's gonna
No,
work.
that's clever. I like it.
All right, let me just quickly see. This should, if we can do that, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. All
That
right.
works.
And then let's say we try another company, even in lowercase should give us red. It does. Okay, good. Ah,
Well done. You solved it, and more
Ah.
elegantly than I would have solved it.
this, yeah, we wouldn't need to do any states, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when this does a search and takes the current user's company, it still does the count of
Everything
this,
else.
right?
It
This
does.
shouldn't be a problem with both of these operators in, right?
Nope, not at all. It's a well-constructed expression.
Yeah, okay, let me try that, and then I'll put something on here too. Let me see if that works. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to take up too much time. Maybe this is better without putting states and or whatever.
No, it's way better. No, this is way more elegant than what I was thinking through. So.
Okay. Yeah, let me test this out, and then somebody else can go.
Yeah, sure,
I
Callum.
just wasn't sure if we could do this. It just came to me when just when you asked me if I had a question. Okay, great. Let me test it out.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe it'll work.
Thank you, because that is a new way for me to think about things as well.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Callum, you're up.
No.
Do you have any questions today? You're just hanging out.
Just hanging out. What do you think of my new sunglasses? That question?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They
Thank you.
look very good.
Quick fix then. Awesome. No, nothing else from me.
Adam, back to you. You want to work on that recursive workflow or something else?
Let me look at my list. Oh, so basically this seems like a very simple fix. Basically I'm having issues with creating a notification system where something is seen versus not seen, but my goal is like, you know how on, even early days of Facebook, you would open up your notifications and the newest ones would be highlighted. I want that. So it's like, I don't want it to be the obvious of like, because someone's clicked the notification icon, everything is now marked as seen. I want it to be to like, maybe mark it as seen after they close it. Do you know what I'm saying? Or they go to another page, or like, I still want people to be able to see like, oh, here are my new notifications.
Yeah, I mean, so you could set that up such that it's what happens when they click on a notification?
They see, so there are two things. They see like this little drop down group focus that pops up, shows them, and then you could click view all to see your notifications. But in both settings, I have like a little blue dot on the end of it. It's teal, so it's not
Is
completely
this something
transparent.
you can screen share for or no?
It's something that like, I don't know, I just don't really like screen sharing. I'm sorry, but it's typical notification behavior. So it's like you click notification, you see a little group
Yeah, but I
focus.
didn't. But I'm asking what happens when you click on the notification in the list of all notifications. Like when you view the notifications and it drops down, and then you click on the notification, what happens?
Oh, I actually have like it's a whole thing where you can go to the exact post, you can go to the user, who posted it, depending on what you want. I've set it up in a way that it's like link, text, link for 26 to 30 different notification types. So it's a lot.
So I have mine structured that whenever they exit out of the notification menu, it automatically sets any unread notifications to basically red, so that it says that they're all red. I guess the question is, do you want people to have to click on the notification and actually view its contents in order to have it marked as read?
No.
Or is them just viewing the list good enough?
Viewing the list is good enough.
Okay, so as soon as they click on it to say view notifications, just run the workflow to set it as read, right?
Well, not the second that they view it, I would say, because then they are opening a list of notifications that end up just looking like blank. Do you know what I'm saying? Or just not having any marker that says we are a new notification.
Oh, got you. Right. Sorry. So you don't want it, you want to be able to show the thing that says this is a new notification, but you don't want to run it as soon as they click on it, because then it won't show it. So you could set a time at which it was read. So that way, I assume your read is just yes or no, right?
Yeah, it's just yes or no. It's not a time.
So why don't you set another thing in the database on the notification that says time read, and then that way when it will automatically mark all of them as read as soon as they click on the notifications button, but it will still show the blue dot if time read is less than, say, 2 minutes. So that way it shows the blue dot for 2 minutes to show which ones are still unread for 2 minutes after they've basically read it. That way they can see which ones are new, but then when they hide it and in 2 minutes time, the blue dot will disappear because they've read it.
Right. I mean, do you think it's like, I like that. I think that's a good workaround, and I'm probably overthinking, but I'm like, do you think people would be like, this glitchy system because I've already read it and it's saying I haven't read it if they open it again?
I mean, personally, I don't. I just have a red icon above the notification thing that says you've got 3 new notifications, and then when they go into it, they know that the top 3 are the newest ones. So that works fine for my social network. Obviously, depends entirely on. It's more of a you question than a technical question, because there's ways to do it around either way. I've just got it so that it shows a number of notifications. Then when they click on it, it marks them all as red, and they know that the 3 are the ones at the top. But if you wanted to have the blue thing, you could do it so they have to click on the notification to clear it. You could have a button that says mark as red or something. It's more of a how you want it set up rather than a how to do it technically, I think.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that maybe I'll do it in a sense of like when the group focus is visible, and then when like the condition will be when it's visible, and then when it's not visible, then I mark it as red. But then I'm thinking also there's a whole notifications page. So I'm thinking, is there a way on that page? Is there a function in Bubble that basically says when you leave this page?
It wouldn't be when you leave this page. It would be whatever you click to go away from that page, I think.
And what if there are like 8 things you can click to go away from the page?
Good point.
I think there's something about like when the page is closed or something, but I don't think it's very reliable, and I've never really. I think I was trying to do that at one point.
That's a totally question, because my app only has 1 page, so I have no idea.
so no, I don't think you can do it such that like when they leave that page, then you do something. It's going to have to be something more concrete that the user does, or as Callum was suggesting, you schedule it into the future.
Okay.
Like you could send it into the backend workflows to do it after some time.
If it's a group focus to show which I assume is a pop-up to show the notifications, you could have it that when that is closed, it marks them as red. But when they go to the actual page to see all their notifications, it doesn't show red or unread. It just shows a list of notifications. I think that's fine, because that way people can go, they'll know that instant click thing to see their most recent ones. And then when they hide it, it will be gone. But when they actually go to the page, I assume if people are actually navigating to a page to see a whole list of notifications, they'll assume that the ones that are at the top are the newest ones and kind of go down.
Okay, that works. Thank you.
And just so you know, it's not a perfect science, even with the big apps. Like Facebook's notifications are like, there are glitches all the time with it. Right? I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's like times when a notification bell, like the number of notifications or whatever, will stay highlighted for you even after you know you've clicked that button. You have to click off of it and click back on it to get it to clear out. So like, it's like that kind of knowing when someone has done something on the page and getting that right. It's not, even Facebook hasn't gotten it totally worked out yet.
Right.
So.
That's just because Mark Zuckerberg can't fill out the "I'm not a robot" thing.
Awesome. Anything else from you, John?
No, nothing from me.
Zdinko, anything else?
No, Tanya, I think this will be good. That's something to work on this afternoon and put it together.
Yeah.
I think it's going to work.
Callum, any more apparel to show off?
Any more? No, I don't actually. There was a comment in the I floated my idea again in the bubble group, and Andrew, what is it, Macaulay or whatever his name is, responded to it. And Jesus Vasquez posted something about the whole marketplace for bubble elements. Seems like a few people quite like the idea, so I might have to look at doing it. Yeah, that was it though.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, we are going to wrap up this episode of Office Hours. If you'd like to join us and ask your no-code questions, please go to pronocoders.com and sign up for a developer